Okay. Hey guys, Shannon here.
Dean?
This is my buddy Dean. He's gonna walk through a couple things on SketchUp. So first thing we're gonna do is tell you guys what we're doing. We're gonna make a 3D keychain for TECHINOUT.com. So we're gonna use SketchUp, which is a free program that you can get from Google. And he's just gonna open it now. And first thing we're gonna do is just create a solid object, something we can build on. And with SketchUp, we can take solid objects and we can export them and make them a 3D printable object. So when we do this keychain, we're going to be doing a 2-color keychain. We'll explain to you guys how to do 2 colors, and we'll show you an example of how you get 2 colors to print on a 3D printer with perfect alignment every time. So right now he's just getting going on starting this keychain. First thing he's going to do is create a base shape, something that's rough size of the keychain that we're going to make. And so he's going to add some elements to this. He's going to put some rounded corners on it. He's probably going to use the follow me tool to create a beveled edge on the edge. We'll create a hole so that we can make something to tie up to a keychain, a little chain or a ring or something like that. It's going to have TECHINOUT.com on it. We might add some elements like gears or some type of circuit or something to make it look cool, but we got to be within the printer's means. So when you're printing a keychain, you're starting to get into smaller territory, so you're limited on what you can get the 3D printer to show well. So it's going to be somewhat basic, but it's going to be a 2-color print. And basically, to get a 2-color print to happen, you need to make some alignment tabs. When you make your backplate, you're going to have to make alignment tabs that act as bounding boxes. So the alignment tab will be on the left and the right hand side. They'll be joined with the back model, and it'll be at least as wide and at least as tall and at least as wide or wider than the main object. So that's going to force the bounding box of that backplate to an outside square of a set dimension. And then when you make your 3D text that you want to put on that object, you stack bounding boxes on top of the other ones, but they're attached to the text. So basically, when you import the double model, it's going to have them stacked on each other, and both bounding boxes, because when you open it in the slicer, basically the slicer centers everything. So when you open one file, it's going to come to the center of the build plate. When you open the second file, it's going to come to the center of the build plate. But if your keychain back and your text files have different size bounding boxes, then they're not going to line up once they're imported. So that's why you make the outside tabs on each side that are a little bit bigger. This way, when they're both the same exact size, when you design them, when you import them, as soon as you do that, they're going to line right up, and it makes everything just work perfectly. So we're going to speed this up. I'm going to let him do his little magic here in 3D design, and we'll be back in a minute. Guys, slowed the video down again. So now I'm going to explain what's going on here. So the backplate's been done. The green bars are the bounding bars that we're using to control the bounding box. Those ones are going to be attached to the text that hasn't been designed yet. The red bars, they've been grouped with the backplate, so that's all one object. So now we want to build the text on top of the backplate, and we'll speed it up, and we'll be back in a minute and show you guys what we've come up with. Alright guys, we're back. So as you can see, we added 2 gears to the top. We got the TECHINOUT, the .com, the green bars, and the TECHINOUT, the .com, and the green gears. All those are saved as a group. All the red stuff is saved as a group. We don't have to print in those colors. That's just the colors we did to identify the different layers. So when you're done making the background or the back plate, you can make some bounding bars, like I said, on the same level and that are a little bit taller and a little bit wider on the outside of it, so it forces it to have a larger box. And then with the green ones, same thing. You just select everything once you're done all making it, and select your little bounding bars and group those all together. Then once it's saved like this, where when you highlight it, everything's included right to the outside edge, and then when you select the red stuff, yeah, he just moved it apart so that you can see they're on different planes. The green stuff's higher. The red back plate has an indent in it. You want to zoom in on that for a second? Just to show them. So if you zoom right in, we can see that we've dropped it 0.2 of a millimeter, which is one full printing layer height on the 3D printer. So when it starts the print the second color, it's going to do so at the same time as it's doing the last layer on the top of the back plate. So it's basically going to bond those two layers together and then continue the print upwards, and then it should stay in there pretty good. If you were to just print directly on top of it without subtracting it and having that indent, it's likely those pieces could break off if it gets a little flexed or something like that. The 3D prints, it might not stick together. So that's just a little trick. So yeah, that's how you do it. We're gonna speed it up and go to, we're gonna
first we should show the
record the time lapse. What?
You want to show the export?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So we need to create the file. That's a very good point. We need to create the file that we can use to print with. So he's gonna go export STL. And he's going to give this file, he's going to export the selected geometry only. And he has everything selected on the green layer, because we have to do this in 2 parts. So first things first is select one of the 2 layers and then export STL. Export. And give it a name, call it green layer. Then it's going to have to do the same thing with the red layer. Once he's done saving this, you can select the red layer, go back to File, Export STL, Export Selected Geometry Only is on, Export, give it a name, call it red layer. Save that. So now we got the 2 files. So now what he's going to do is minimize SketchUp, and he's going to use the program that we use for a slicer. It's called Simplify 3D.
Okay guys, so now we're going to be opening up Simplify 3D. We're going to print this in 2 colors, and we're going to get started right now. Alright, so I'm opening up both layers, green and red we called it. Just checking out the model right now, making sure that everything's aligned like we hoped it would. Everything looks good. Alright, so first thing we need to do is select individual files and assign them to the left or right extruder. Alright, right now I'm just showing that each tool head is different color, so the blue is one color and the green's the other. And then we're going to cut right into the time lapse of the 3D print. And we're going to go more in depth on future videos on how to do this, but this is just a quick version to show you guys how it works.